It's Wednesday night, and we're live from Oakdale, Washington, in the Educated Touch studio. Welcome to Ethics Outside the Box, with your host, Nathan Nordstrom. Special guests include... and you. Here he is, Nathan Nordstrom.
All right. Hey, welcome there, my friends. It's good to see you guys today. I have no clue what was going on. I didn't quite hear anything there, but we are live with Facebook, and we're recording this for posterity's sake. But this is a wonderful opportunity that I have to introduce my massage therapy world friends to someone who is dearly important to me, who has given me a lot of my basic skills in the ethics classes that I teach. So my life has been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of adventures, and a lot of those adventures actually come from this wonderful person that I'm interviewing today, which is my mother, Miss Mary Lou Nordstrom. Hi, Mom. How are you?
I'm great, Nathan. How are you?
I'm happy-go-lucky. I see you're enjoying your front room, and you've got pictures of grandmas and grandpas and Auntie Janelle. Is that Janelle's picture?
Yes.
I've got really good eyes, or a really strong screen. Either way.
Yes.
So how are things going? What are you up to? What are you doing in your life now?
What am I doing in my life now? Well, I cleaned my fingernails because I've been working in the garden today.
Beautiful.
And I wanted to be modest and not dirty. So we planted peas today that are big enough to grow up the little vine things, and we're planting more lettuce and eating
Beautiful.
salads from our garden, and making quilts and reading about grounding and doing all kinds of interesting things and trying to eat healthfully.
Wonderful. And now, how long have you and Dad been retired?
Oh, gosh. 2006.
2006. So you're going on 12 years?
12 years, yeah.
Okay, and in those 12 years, you've had a bunch of wonderful experiences. You've traveled around the world. You went to Bulgaria for a church mission. You've come home, and now you're doing an addiction recovery mission, helping people with addiction. And let's see, what else have you done in the last 12 years as retirees?
We celebrated our 50th anniversary when all of your siblings and nieces and nephews and our grandchildren were here for that great celebration. That was a biggie.
Have you here today, Mom, with me, because we're going to be talking about things that you trained me on, things that you taught me about, and I wanted just to kind of have the massage profession hear from a really good mom on what she thinks about things that massage therapists should be doing. Are you okay with that, Mom?
I think so. I'll say what comes to mind.
My Facebook friends, I just have to let you know my mom is a little nervous, and she thinks you're going to be mean and cruel. So please give her love and support. Make sure to post on Facebook all the wonderful things about Mary Lou.
Your massage therapy friends are marvelous. I met many of them in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and they are a kind and loving and wonderful, wonderful group of people. You couldn't be associated with nicer people.
Absolutely, and they think the same about you.
And you say that about them when they're not there, so I know they're great.
That does help. That really does. And you're right. I was just I sent a message to the current AMTA National President, Joan Nichols, who you met. And Joan is working really hard and keeping the association doing well and happy, and she's doing a great job at it. And she just is, I love that when you have a good company or a good group, one person can pass through a group, and if everything's done right, it continues to float.
Yep.
Everything's done wrong, then you start seeing the problems. And that's also where we get into the ethics and the ethical behaviors and the importance of ethical communication, because if you can put a business together ethically, what's going to end up happening is the future of that business is going to maintain that ethical standards until something bumps it off course. And so having ethical predecessors and whatever the opposite of predecessors is, what is that, Mom? Any idea? Descendants? There we go.
Yeah,
Predecessors and descendants.
that works.
that creates a system that creates strength in any company. And so no matter if you're looking at owning your own massage practice and having massage therapists who are there, choosing ethics as a standard for those massage therapists is going to be super important, because they're going to represent your business for that hour with that client.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. So I'm going to do some sharing here. I'm going to share my, if I do this right, I'm going to share my Google page here. And I want to make sure that you guys know where we're at. We're going to go to www.ncbtmb.org. And this is the website for the National Certification Board of Therapeutic Massage and Body Workers. This is the website that gives a lot of the standards for national policies. They work very hard to make sure that there is a standard of a higher tiered massage therapist, and creating that buffer system to make sure that massage therapists are accredited and certified. So you notice on the top it says Board Certified Therapeutic Massage and Body Workers. And being proud to be board certified is something that is very important. As we scroll on down, we'll see my friend David Otto, who's our spotlight
There he
here.
is, yep.
And each week I've pointed out Dave, and Dave hasn't said anything, so I don't think he's watching my videos. Hi, David.
I know, David. Hello from me too.
On the bottom left-hand side, there's the About column, and it's about NCBTMB, about volunteers, about bylaws, about certification boards, about senior staff, about NCBTMB facts. Code of ethics is what we've talked about earlier this month, but right now we are down to the standards of practice. And in those standards of practice, we actually have started going through those. There's some really important pieces in this background and preamble of the standards of practice. One thing that I just really want to point out is that as a massage therapist, you want to be the best you can. And you want to see that the profession is safeguarded by the best. And so being able to look at a group that really supports that is quite important. So that is part of the preamble. We'll kind of skip over that. Standard 1 is the standard that we're looking at right now, and that is professionalism. And so all the different ways that we look at the profession and all the different things that we look at and want to talk about and connect with. But we've done A and B, we've done C and D, we've done E and F. We're actually on G and H. Let me see if I can make that bigger. Hey, look at that. I'm scrolling.
Oh.
And hopefully...
I wondered where you got the letters. I didn't know where that came from. Now I know.
All right. Yeah, standard 1G. Can you see that, Mom?
Yep. Oh, I can. You bet.
Good, good, good. 1G is wear clothing that is clean, modest, and professional. And so I just kind of wanted to stop there, and we'll get to H here in a little bit. But I wanted to talk to my mom about clean, modest, and professional, because I'm a type of guy that you see in a little different uniform than the standard massage therapist, I feel. Mom, you've been to a massage therapist before.
Yes.
A couple.
Yep.
Here or there. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And what's the usual outfit that you see for a massage therapist?
The usual, I would say, is I'm trying to think. Slacks and a top of some sort. I don't think the ones that I have gone to have worn like a white medical jacket or anything like that. But like some sort of a t-shirt or a shirt.
Okay. Does the t-shirt usually have like a band's name across it and have
No.
devil horns?
No.
Oh, okay.
No skeletons, no.
No skeletons. I mean, massaging a skeleton's probably a little difficult since they don't have muscles.
Yeah.
So thank you, because that's kind of the thing that I'm noticing is that standard massage therapists strive to look casually professional.
Yeah. That's how I would name it.
It's a hard catch to follow through. Usually, if it is a t-shirt, then it is a short sleeve t-shirt, and a short sleeve t-shirt that is nice and clean. You're not going to see you hopefully aren't going to see wrinkled t-shirts and things, as we said, printed on them that are awkward or odd or aren't focused on the session. I have seen massage therapists who make me laugh, who have t-shirts like, by day I'm a mom, by night I am a master massage therapist with like a superhero logo on it. Those types of things really make me smile and connect and giggle in some ways. But the other piece really kind of connects with, you want to be focused in your dress to what you do as a massage therapist. If you work in a hospital, you're going to have a slight different look than if you're working at working in your own clinic, or if you're working out in a field at a sporting event.
Then you would wear something more sporty looking.
I would hope so. And you'd probably wear something that can fight back some of the heat to allow you to ventilate a little bit better, because gosh, if it's 90 degrees outside and you're working in the sun on a massage chair all day, I would hope you put sunscreen on first of all, but also be able to regulate your own heat and have water and all that kind of stuff. So I can't say that there is a strict regimen of what a massage therapist should look like or should wear, but there are standards. And so I like that on the NCB Standard 1, number G or letter G says, wear clothing that is clean.
No stains.
Okay, thank you. Stains are definitely one of those issues that you want to be conscious of. And we've seen that, but there's other pieces to clean. That is the wrinkled problem. That is, you've worn it for 3 days, or you have lotion or cream that's dripped onto your shirt. I was always told that it's best to have a second uniform at work, so that if anything does happen, you can then change before that next client, because you never know when Murphy's Law is going to hit.
Yeah.
So I actually just wrote in a manual something that I was really proud of when I wrote it down. I thought, ooh, that really has some really good strength to it. It said, the two great teachers in life are Father Time and Murphy's Law. Let's work hard to prevent them.
Yeah.
Because your job as a professional, no matter what you're doing, is to not fall into the trap of Murphy's Law, of something happening and just going, oh, well, I couldn't do anything about it. Well, if you thought about it and mostly tried to prevent all the things that could go wrong, you're going to be hit less by Murphy's Law.
Right.
Or if you only work by your own experience and say, well, I didn't learn it, I know that person did it, but maybe I have to learn it myself, then that's relying on Father Time teaching you the same problem that someone else learned.
We can learn from other people. Yeah.
Absolutely. That cuts back on a lot of time that you may have to have problems. So there's another piece to that, and it's not just as it said that it needs to be clean, but I want to get into the next piece, which is modest clothing. Modest clothing is a whole different ball game here. So, Mom, what would you say are modest attires, and what are immodest attires for a person, I'm going to say, who's in your above 50 era?
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
For the person above 50 that's
No.
wearing them, or
Nope.
for?
No, for a person who happens to be above 50,
Oh, thank
you're
you.
slightly there.
Slightly.
When you look at people, what do you think of as a modest outfit versus an immodest outfit? Actually, the easiest way to go about this, Mom, is to go the other way. What are things that you look at and see that you go, yeah, that doesn't feel modest to me?
Okay. I would say, judging by my over 50 ethical background, I would say if you're a woman, if there's a lot of cleavage showing, and because you are bending over people, that would be immodest.
So I love that you draw out the ladies specifically. And I've seen guys wear low V-neck shirts, and that doesn't look professional to me either. Even though they don't have breasts, or if you're a small-breasted woman and you have a low V-neck shirt, to me that doesn't scream modesty. That screams that you're allowing more freedom, more cleavage prevail, or even the guys, you're a little. This is usually where the hairy chest kind of bushes out, or that that chain that you've got that hangs down, that dangles around. All those types of things, to me, don't quite scream modest.
Yeah.
Okay. True. So I'm gonna toss one out, Mom, for you, and that is I'm gonna stand up for this one. The belly shirt that only goes up down to here. That only goes about halfway the midriff area, allows that to show. That to me doesn't scream modest.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Well, it doesn't scream professional either. And I know that massage therapists are trying to get away from the massage parlor. I don't know, years ago, that's what it was, and that was not a good term. You don't have to leave.
Sorry, I'm getting a green shadow. But
oh, okay. That if you're going to be professional, business-wise, that's not modest either.
Okay. So I've got a story that I'll use later, but I would also go into shorts in some situations. Once again, when I talked about being at a sporting event, I've seen massage therapists who are at a sporting event who are wearing professional. I mean, they're not like short slacks; they're actual shorts. But because they're wearing a polo shirt that says that they're with the medical tent or with the massage therapy team, that really does kind of give a little bit more support to them looking professional, and the environment is appropriate for shorts. And so that's a really important thing for me to connect with. But also, if you're in a doctor's office, wearing shorts doesn't match. There's an inconsistency with appearance to your purpose. And so these are all pieces of nonverbal communication that most massage therapists, when they're in massage school, don't usually think about. They usually just go, yeah, no, when I get around to it, I'll do massage, and I'm totally fine. I don't have to look like this or do that. That becomes a challenge.
You know, also, Nathan, if a person works for, like you do, for a certain company, or if they have their own office and it has a name, if you have a shirt that has the name of your office, that adds to the decorum of the day, because you represent that organization, and you can't be haphazard about doing those things because you're representing something that is not wanting to be represented.
I love it. And actually, I go two directions with that. The first one is when you're wearing a logo of someone or something on your chest, you take on the responsibility of that. And so if someone's had a good or bad experience with that product, you now have the ramifications of that, and you're striving to hold true to a good standard of ethics for that company. Then the other direction, your behavior then reflects the company itself, so that if someone else wears that logo, they'll go, oh, I've dealt with someone from your company.
You know, a thing that happened to us years ago when your dad and I were first married, we're driving across the U.S. from Washington State to Davenport, Iowa. And in Nebraska, we stopped, a long time before that, but when we stopped in Nebraska, we stopped and got gas at this gas station. And this guy came out, and he was cussing a blue streak, and he was mad at somebody about something. And he was just being totally out of control, and he was representing this gas station. And he put the gas in, and he shoved the thing in the tank, and he was just still madder than all get out. And he took the money and left. And so later on, it was so interesting. Later on, somebody was talking about Nebraska. And I found myself saying, you know, the people in Nebraska are really out of control. You know, they are really not very friendly there, and they are totally emotional wrecks. They just take their emotions out on everybody, and we said that about Nebraska for years. And one day, as I was reciting this little episode to somebody, I thought, you know, I'm judging the whole state of Nebraska by that one guy, and I had probably done it for 20 years. And, you know, there are very nice, loving, kind, wonderful people that live in Nebraska, but that guy blew the whole image for us.
Isn't that awesome? It is so true that you can have one person represent in your mind an entire country.
Yes, and he had no idea he was representing the whole state of Nebraska, and that was in 1966.
And by 1986, you were still thinking the whole state of Nebraska was
I was still judging Nebraska by him, but I have learned since then that you cannot judge the whole organization. But there is that quick thing in our brain, I don't know what it is, but when we see somebody representing an organization, a company, a church, a whatever, and they are behaving that way, that whole thing gets judged by that one person. Unfortunately, it's true.
I love the idea that emotional outbursts actually sit for the strongest memories.
Oh.
If you're watching someone be emotional, either overly excited and overjoyed, and they're screaming and bouncing up and down because they got a new pony, and they're just,
yeah, that
fits into your memory for years,
forever.
For decades. You'll remember
forever.
that scene for so long, because that is something that was very emotional and you connected with, because it was emotional. Now, the same thing happens when you look at that picture in your memory 10 years, you still see the logo on their chest. You still see the bright smiling face. You still see all the side things that were represented in that picture. And you have a perfect example of an emotional turmoil that really affected you. And either people can take it on, or they can process through it. And then there's that third option of people can laugh it off and go, wow, that was really kind of bizarre. I guess I'm just going to move on. You know, it is that process that memories are created. And then as we relapse on those memories, if we don't have anything to diverge other concepts from on it, then that whole subject can be covered by one experience. So that is why one of the great reasons that I have to go to national conventions is because I then meet people from all over the country, all over the world, and I get these opportunities to connect with them about our mutual passion of helping people get better with touch therapy. And that's so awesome to me that I can connect with a city or a state based off of someone who has a passion for helping other people. there's some serious strength there. When I'm at national conventions, there's something else that I see. And I'm pretty sure, Mom, you saw this too when you're out there. You saw people with name tags on, and then they had all these pins on their name tags, and they had, a lot of times they had like their state specifically shown on their name tag, or they have a brand if they're a distributor on their shirt. And at national conventions, you get an opportunity to connect with people in these different industries and these different perspectives that really are either massage therapists or massage therapy support, or the profession or the profession's support. And so when you're at a national convention and you're seeing all these people, and you go to the local restaurant and bar, or you go out and you can see that there's a party going on someplace, you then see those same people, and you then have to reflect, okay, are these people who are representing their profession right now, or are these people going out with their friends and having a good time right now? This is an ethical dilemma that we see regularly on my friend's Hyatt Facebook Live. If you are a massage therapist and you're using your Facebook page as a marketing tool, and on your Facebook page you're in a scantily clad bathing suit and sitting on the beach, your clients are going to be looking at that picture and connecting that with you as a therapist. And so it's really, I can say this only so many times, it's really, really important for you to look at that aspect and say, wait a second, what is it that I want to present to my clients? And that might be that you create a business page and you refer your Facebook friends who are customers or clients that direction, and you manage your personal page on a different forum and lock it down so families and friends can only see it. Or you can not accept business friends at work with your business of family, of home. Or you can use your Facebook page as a business page and not share that information. But your uniform goes with you. And I know as a child, I don't ever remember, and definitely you can correct me if I'm wrong, I don't remember as a kid being able to go to the grocery store in my pajamas.
Nope.
Why not, Mom? Why didn't you let a poor innocent child go to the grocery store in his pajamas? They were comfortable.
I don't know why. We just didn't do that in those days. Pajamas were for at home, not at the store. But you see pajamas everywhere now.
So it's day by day. The era definitely has changed a bit,
Things
right?
have changed.
But the expectation and the perspective, if I was at the grocery store in my pajamas and someone said, "Oh, are you that massage therapist?" And I said, "Oh yeah, hold on, let me give you my business card."
Yeah. Yeah.
That person now has a different perspective of me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And bringing them on as a client creates a different challenge. Well, I live in a small town in the middle of nowhere. And so our grocery store is the only grocery store for at least 12 miles, 15 miles every direction. And so when I go to the store, if I'm going to the store, I need to be dressed appropriately because everyone's going to know who I am and who my family is and all the rest of those small pieces that go along with it. And so you have people, and it's unintentional. It's not, people don't try and make judgments and then hold to it. Just like you didn't try and make judgments about an entire state. It's that automatic filter, and until it's corrected, it holds true. And as massage therapists, we need to make sure that our presentation of ourself is at a point where people will make automatic assumptions of professionalism, and then they will be able to build their experience and connect with that and find that to be true. That's kind of every profession. I'm not going to hold that massage therapists are the only ones.
That is true. Yeah.
But I don't want to see my accountant in his pajamas at the grocery store either.
Did I lose you?
You
Okay.
did not. I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm just waiting for laughter from Facebook, and they're not doing it. So, so clean, modest, and professional. So I'm actually going to use myself as a model here for that professional. And not that I'm trying to toot my own horn, because, I mean, I can toot as long as I want. But I had a wonderful experience in my younger years. When I was 18, I graduated from high school, and when I was 19, I went on a church mission. And so for 2 years, I traveled around Fresno, California, and the towns around Fresno, wearing a white shirt and tie with a Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints name tag. And there were two things about this experience. Well, there's a lot of things about this experience, but two that I wanted to bring up. One is I would ride around on my bicycle and wear a suit and go to people's houses. And the number of times that I would have people driving by who would honk and wave, or who would say hello, even though they weren't interested in the message. They just wanted to say hello because they knew that I was out trying to represent a greater deity. They knew that I was out trying to make the world a better place by helping people. And that was very helpful to me, because it wasn't that they didn't know me for anything. They had never met me. They had never heard my life story about good, bad, challenges, experiences, blessings, but they knew what I represented. Mm-hmm. Because of professional appearance. Now, this professional appearance can get people into trouble as well. When we look at the concept of transference, and we start thinking about if a person walks into a room with a badge on their chest and a gun on their hip, the first thing we say is, "Oh, that's a police officer." You haven't even read that badge. The badge could say Acme Badge Company. And the gun on his hip could be a BB gun. Mm-hmm. But instantly in your mind, you connect the reality that this person looks like this, so I need to treat them like that. Mm-hmm. This is both in the good and the bad. People who have had good experiences with police officers will give him trust. Mm-hmm. People who have had bad experiences with police officers will experience distrust and reserved. And so being able to break that transference cycle and actually look at a person for who they are can really give you a lot of strength. But sometimes you don't have the time to really build that. You don't have the time to discuss that or figure out who they are. Mom, there's something that I have to, may I disclose some fun information about you?
Oh dear. Sure. I'll embarrass you later if you embarrass me now.
All right. So when I was in high school, you were so wonderful and such a great mom. You would take us to school in the morning on your way to teach in elementary school. And your hair had the most beautiful salt and pepper hue. It was, in my mind, it represented wisdom and excitement for life. And I so loved that. And then you decided that you wanted to change your hair color and look a little bit younger. Mm-hmm. And you did that. Mm-hmm. And I have to say, I will agree that you did look younger. Your hair color does change the perspective of an individual. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. However, there was a point when you decided to stop doing that. And as I look at your beautiful hair now, I recognize that there's something that I connect with gray hair, and that is respect and experience. And this isn't just me as a person. Generally in society, there are certain things that people connect with as I need to be supportive of this person. First one is definitely the hair color. The hair color gives a lot of expectation of someone needs to step back and, "Oh, can I help you, ma'am? Can I help you, sir?" The second one is your posture. if you haven't noticed, when you're a young man with a jaunty posture and you're bouncing around, people don't ask if they can help you.
Mhm.
However, as a general human gets older and older, they can hunch over, and they have a little bit harder time moving and walking. And that is when subconsciously, once again, this is not a conscious choice for most people, they then say, oh, I see a person having a challenge. Hey, can I help you, sir? Can I help you, ma'am? And these are pieces that we are subconsciously engaging in. The third piece about aging that comes across quite regularly is asking for help. People will ask a senior citizen for insight on a challenge much more than they would ask a child. I'm going to put myself in this situation. If I'm having problems with my teenage child, I'm not going to go to one of my teenage children's friends and ask them what I should do. And generally, I'm not going to ask one of my colleagues who's about my same age, because most of the time, mentally, I kind of go, they've got their own challenge in my same situation. Let's just not go there. However, going to a more senior adult and asking, hey, what did you do? Did you ever have a challenge with this or that with a child who was doing these experiences? It's preset in our mind, and it's not a conscious thing. But that is also the same response that we have with dressing and attire and how you look. So being able to look at massage therapists across the country, being able to look at what a massage therapist stands for and presents is going to be super important whenever and wherever we are. So that is my long rant about clothing and wearing clothing that is clean, modest, and professional. Mom, is there anything else you wanted to add to that wonderful rant?
I don't think so. I think you've covered it very, very, very well. Clean, modest, and professional.
It is really brief and really blunt, and I really do appreciate that. Letter H is actually the next one that we wanted to talk about. And I've kind of presented this in several different ways already, but I want to just kind of reconnect with this. I actually said I was going to come back to this story. Just a second, H. I'll be right with you. With G, I had a spa in Portland, Oregon at one time, and I had a sweet young lady who worked for me, and I owned the spa, and we had independent contractors who were massage therapists, and they were all dressed in their own style of professional. We had one young lady who wore low-cut shirts and shorts, and I didn't feel it was my place by the IRS standard to tell her what she could or could not wear. She was a very nice girl. She was very, very sweet. And one night, as she was the last massage therapist on, she had a client who asked her for inappropriate performance, for sexual gratification. And she was shocked and appalled. And it was really one of those things that she didn't understand why he would have even gotten that idea. And so my first response was, yes, we need to talk to the client and let them know that that is not appropriate here. That's not what we are. We're not a prostitution house. We're a licensed massage therapist for a massage, for helping your muscles relax. And then the second piece that I, as the owner, had to do was go to this sweet young lady and explain to her that her dress was saying one thing when her actions were saying another. And she got it. She understood. And it was hard for her to hear. But I do recognize that she stopped wearing those outfits. She started wearing more professional clothes. And it did mean buying new clothes because she hadn't ever had to dress that way. She hadn't ever figured that she had to look a certain way. And that is the errors of youth. As I have a teenage daughter who wants to dress the way she wants to dress, that's understandable to have that want, but you then also suffer the consequences of how you look being perceived by who is looking at you instead of who you want to, how you want to be perceived. You're being perceived by what you dress like. And so always have to kind of connect with that one. That one's, well, it was a hard experience, but it is definitely an important piece to be conscious of. All right, so getting along to H, obtain voluntary and informed consent. So, Mom, I'm going to say something, and then you let me know if you agree. Are you ready?
Uh-huh.
So, Mom, we're going to start a massage. We'd really like to work on your whole body. We're going to be focused on your head, neck, face, shoulders, back, head, feet, knees, and hips. If there's anything that you have a problem with, please let me know. Is there any problem? Do you have any consent? Would you agree to that?
Well, that kind of covered everything. Most people like to have a little more information than that.
Well, I went over the whole body, right, Mom?
I know, but let's say for a person that's coming to a massage therapist for the first time, that would be a little bit of overload to try to even think about at that time. You know, so what are you going to do to my head, my arms, my neck, my back, my legs, my feet? You know what?
So let me take it.
That's personally how I would feel if I was a first-time massage therapist client. I would think, wow, okay, so let's break this down to a little bit at a time that I can kind of understand what you're talking about.
Let me take it another way then. So we're going to do a full body massage. You're okay with that, right?
A full body massage.
You're okay with that, right?
If I don't know what massage is, I don't know.
But you came here and you want a massage, right?
Right.
Okay. So both of those are examples where we look at.
It could be a little scary.
Voluntary and informed consent.
Not too informing.
Voluntarily means that without coercion. So I'm not coercing you to give me the right answer. You want this, right?
Obtain voluntary and informed.
So the key pieces are that if you want them to volunteer, that they are okay with that, you have to give them all the information that they need to make a voluntary knowledgeable choice that this is what they want in their session.
Uh-huh.
The secondary thing is that you inform them of what you're doing. I don't know how I can say it more than I have in the past, and I will continue to say that your client needs to have a good intake interview. It could be considered an intake interview, an initial interview, a consultation. I don't care how you name it. It is the same thing, but it's an opportunity for you to hear what it is that client is having problems with, and then you address with them and connect with them specifically on what it is that they need, and you ask them to confirm that what you're going to do for that treatment session is what they're looking for. Mom, I'm assuming you've had a couple of different types of massage. Can you remember any of the techniques that you've experienced?
Any of the techniques?
Mm-hmm. I've given you a whole bunch of names, but yes.
Well, I've had a hot rock massage.
Uh-huh.
I've had, what's the one with the with the spoon, the
gua sha.
gua sha. I've had hurting massage.
Hurting. Deep tissue. You've had
Tissue.
myofascial
Deep
release.
tissue, yes, myofascial release.
Um,
I just knew it hurt. Let's see. There must be other names. Gosh,
you've had some energy work.
energy work. Yes, I've had energy work.
So have you heard of Reiki?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I've heard of that.
Okay. So let me just guess. So if you came in for a massage and you were expecting hurting work, or deep tissue as you call it, and someone did Reiki energy work on you, would you feel like you had given informed and knowledgeable consent of what you were going to experience for the hour?
No. I think there needs to be some sort of an assessment beforehand, like you were saying, that this is what we call this, and this is what we call this. This is this, so that people know, and of course they're going to go back and talk to their friends, and
Yes.
and their friends are going to say, well, do they do deep tissue? Well, if you don't know that that's what that is, you have no idea what they did.
I also like the definition, because recently I've been working quite hard. I say recently, over the last 15 years, I've been working really hard in defining out deep tissue from deep pain massage.
I think you know the difference.
I do. But
I think we all do.
I've defined out, and I got this from several different people from several different sources, and I really appreciate each of these sources. But the definition of deep tissue massage is specific work on a specific muscle. And so that can be a deep muscle, a superficial muscle, but as soon as you start focusing on a muscle, you're now looking at the term for deep tissue. But what in most Americans' minds comes up when you say deep tissue is, I'm going to take this elbow and I'm going to shove it halfway through your body, and then I'm going to rub it around and create as much change as possible, and it's going to hurt. And that's a challenge. That's a difficulty for me as a massage therapist, to look at the limitations and say, oh, you're looking at deep tissue as pain. And when people are coming for a massage and they say, oh, you do deep tissue, right? And I say, yes. What is it that you're looking for? Oh, man, when you get into that neck and start ripping that stuff apart, oh, man, that's great. Then I go, okay, I know what you're looking for. I'm probably going to do a little different technique than what you're used to. I'll make sure to engage the tissue and change the tissue. It may not be as painful.
Mm-hmm.
And even if there are cases when you're doing deep tissue and it is going to be painful, give them the opportunity to have informed consent there as well, which I love this statement. And my wife is notorious for this. Whenever I'm working on someone and I'm like, okay, there's going to be a lot of change, she says, you need to tell them what that means.
Yes.
Because a lot of change creates a lot of new patterns and changing of old patterns, and can be very painful. But in my mind, I just categorize that as you're going to have a lot of change. And my job is to say, change can be uncomfortable. We can change less each session if you come back more regularly, and we can do less aggressive work so that you can change over a slower period of time and have less discomfort related to it. That would be true in informed consent, right, Mom?
Right.
Also, right, Mom? Right.
Absolutely right. Yes. I was going to say, for the average person that is coming to the massage for the first time, there's two kinds of massage. There's hurting massage and, as you call it, foo-foo massage. And most people think that it's all, if you haven't been before, you think it's all going to be foo-foo massage, that it's just going to be that stuff that it just feels good. It just relaxes you. And then they're surprised when it's not, or the other way, when they're used to the deep tissue or as the hurting massage, they think if they're used to that and you just do the other that feels good, they think, oh man, they're not getting anything done here. So it creates a dilemma in the uninformed person's mind. So that's why they need explanations, because most people don't even know the scope or ramifications of massage therapy.
So are you telling me that massage therapists are the expert and they should be educating their clients about what massage therapy is?
I think they should.
I like that statement. That sounds right, Mom. Notoriously, I find it interesting for me because, Mom, you've had me work on you before.
Yeah.
I've created change in a fast pace on you many times, and I apologize for that.
Oh, that's okay. It's bad for all the mean things I did to you when you were a child.
Oh yeah, all the mean things.
Maybe
You raised me, you fed me, you loved me. Yeah, it
well,
sent me on trips. I mean,
we just tease that way. It's just.
it's good.
I created the situations in my body, and then you have to take care of them. So.
So I find that as a massage therapist, I've lived and worked in many different environments. I've owned my own spa. I've worked in the spa industry. I've worked in the clinical industry. I've worked in a hospital. I've worked at schools. I'm working on the corporate side now. This has been a really wide variety of experiences for me. And I've noticed that in my experience as what is called categorically a deep tissue massage therapist, we get a really bad rap when it comes to the spa industry. Either people want deep tissue, and so they go more towards the clinical side, and so they go and see a clinician in their own office or that, or when they're in the spa, they're like, oh, I'm here to relax. I don't really I don't want to hurt. And so as I've worked most recently, I was in the Coeur d'Alene Casino and Resort, which is in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. And as I worked out there, I had a really mixed bag of reviews. And I knew why. But I don't think all massage therapists would know why, especially a new massage therapist who's coming out. As a very clinically trained massage therapist who focuses on treatment and recovery of injury and dysfunction, as a massage therapist, it's my job to connect with you, do a good solid intake interview, and treat the condition so that you can relax and have a stabilizing effect. And when I'm at a spa, they say they're only here to relax. And that's what we want them to do, is we want them to relax. And in my mind, when I say relax, that means by the end, they need to be more relaxed than they are now, not laying on the table. Bleh.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dad. and that is part of that. That is definitely a direct piece on here where we're talking about informed and voluntary consent. Because as the massage therapist, we should be able to be informed about what it is that they're looking for. If they just want to lay there for the next hour and go, bleh,
Obtain voluntary.
Then we need to have that information so that we can give them that experience.
Okay.
And it's our job as massage therapists to gather that information. It's not the client's job to tell us, and if they didn't tell us, well, it's their own darn fault. And I have heard that from massage therapists, which drives me nuts. it's not their fault. You have to collect the information and make sure you're going to give them what they're looking for. Now, there's an end to this. Obtain voluntary and informed consent from the client prior to initiating the session. We've directly been falling into that initial statement. However, I want to drop into a different side of that in the -1 minute that we have left. Yeah, time flies when we're having fun. In massage school, we're trained that what you're supposed to do is during the massage, you're supposed to say, how's the pressure for you? Is the room warm enough? Are you comfortable on the table? These check-in questions, which doesn't negate the need in my mind of having that informed voluntary consent up front. It allows you to change if they're not getting what you have confirmed.
Oh.
If they're saying, I want a blah massage, and you think you're giving the best blah massage you can, if you don't ask, how's that pressure, and they go, it's a little too much, then you need to know at that point, oh, I'm sorry about that. Let me change up the pressure. Is that better? Yeah, it's getting better, which doesn't mean it's good. It just means it's improving. Okay, so let's change it up. Because as the professional massage therapist, not only informed consent at the beginning, but continued respect for the client so that you can give them the best throughout the session. That's, in my mind, full informed consent. Mom, I asked you at the very beginning of this week if you would be willing to join me on this webinar today. And so I didn't give you informed consent. I didn't give you an opportunity to do everything. I actually did a little manipulative speech. Come on, Mom. You want to do it, right? Could you help me like this? Because I really need you to be there. Come on, Mom. I've done this for a couple of reasons. One is because informed consent isn't just a problem in the massage therapy profession. I look at it as a problem with American culture and communication. People have a preconceived notion of what they want. And when they go out into the world, they present what they want and don't ask what another person wants. And so, as an American who's dealing with this wonderful culture, and I've been in this boat where I've got something I've got to do and I've got to get done, and people aren't going to stand in my way because I'm going to get this done. I've decided there's an important piece to step back and to say the thank yous and to ask what other people need. And so, Mom, my request to you is that as I come out to come visit, I am going to be striving to do two things. First thing before I say anything is, how are you? And have an active ear to listening to what your experience is so that you can know that I love you, I respect you, and I want to hear what your experience is. And then the second one is, how can I help you improve your life? And it may not be in those words. It may just be, how can I help, or what can I do, or hey, can I take that? But simply by creating a process, and this is in the massage therapy world as well, creating a process where we're focused on improving the clients that are in our environment, that are coming into our practice. If we make sure to avoid the concept of, I have to have this many clients to make sure that my bank statement is not going into the negative, our clients are going to feel that. But if we go the other direction and we say, I am here to serve and here to help, and if I serve and help and give quality respect, I can then charge an appropriate amount to make sure that my books are balanced and that the business side of life and practice is taken care of. We have to respect our clients just as much as we respect our mother.
Wow.
Thank you, Mom.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mommy.
The hour has flown by. We hope you've enjoyed this discussion with Ethics Outside the Box. As you've seen, Nathan uses many second-hand stories of ethical situations. If you'd like to share your story or you have any questions, feel free to contact him and Nathan at educatedtouch.com. If you'd like to register for next week's live webinar, go to shop.educatedtouch.com. Under live webinars, you will see all upcoming webinars. If you have just watched this video and would like continuing education for home study, you can go to shop.educatedtouch.com under the home study options with the date or episode number to receive your exam. If you would please like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel, we will keep you up to date on new videos. If you'd like to attend one of our live courses, you can find upcoming scheduled events at www.educatedtouch.com. Thank you for joining us today.